What's up, y'all? How are you? It is so pretty in Cali right now. I was like, you know what? I am gonna go out on my balcony and share this message that I have for you all today. It came out of a conversation with one of my really dear friends recently, and I was like, you know what? You know what? Do you, Ro? Do you? So let me just fill y'all in. I'll let you kind of come in before I go in with this story. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the conversation. I'm just jumping on impromptu and wanting to share a thought with you. I've been doing a lot of growing over here. I don't know about anybody else. All this time to have some introspection has really, really been giving your girl some layers of growth. Okay? Hey, y'all. Welcome to the conversation. So I was like, I'm going to drop in and just share this thought. I'll see what you think. But so recently, I was talking to my girlfriend the other night, and she was like, Ro, I'm about to send you this video, and I don't want you, hey, y'all, I don't want you to look at the comments. I just want you to look at the video and then come back and give me your opinion of what you see. I said, okay, cool. So I went to watch the video, and it was of two what I would consider very like dramatic artists, okay? One of them is super eccentric, and both of them have really big personalities on stage. And so I looked at the video, and the more eccentric artist, if you will, was like telling the other artist to come up on stage, and you could tell, you know, the other artist was like, oh gosh, you know, no, because I think just out of respect for her level of talent, she just was like, no, you know. But she ended up going up there anyway, because she didn't want to feel like she wanted to say no and go through that moment, right? So she goes up there, and the eccentric artist was like, you know, pouring into her. She had this message for her, and she was like, you know, we're here for you, and you are this, and you are that, and go up there and, you know, do this and do that. And the other artist was like really guarded. You could tell the body language was a little strange. And but the eccentric artist was really, what I thought, pouring what she felt was much needed love into this person at this time, because they had been through something, and I'm not sure based on the timestamp, you know, when this really devastating thing could happen to them. But at the time, I felt like that's what she was doing. She was giving from this deep space of love and support that she felt that this artist really could use and just wanted her to have, you know? And so initially, when she told me the names of the artists, I was like, oh, okay, well, I bet this is about to be interesting, because both of them can be really dramatic, you know, in their delivery. And so, when I went, I was like, oh, you know, and not to say that was a bad thing, it's just that I thought that that's what she was getting ready to point out to me. But after I had watched the video, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, she, you know, I could tell that she was a bit uncomfortable to receive the message, but, you know, she was really pouring, the eccentric artist was really pouring some love into her, and I thought that was really beautiful. Fast forward to my friend's message back, because we going back and forth on WhatsApp. She's like, I think the eccentric artist is, you know, crazy. And who does she think she is, speaking from this place like she's whatever she thinks she is, and why is she giving her this message? And couldn't she tell that the other artist's body language was totally uncomfortable? And why would she continue pushing her rhetoric onto her? You know, like she really took issue. She really took issue with the fact that she did not pay attention to her body language. She was pouring her message onto her like she was Mother Earth or something. And she was like, who does she think she is? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, we had a completely different experience of the same video. Like, hey, everybody, welcome to the conversation. I'm just dropping in. One, to say what's up. Two, to give a message today, because something really landed with me yet again on another layer about doing you. Because I'm thinking this lady just poured into her from what looked like was a super duper loving space. And maybe because I have a bit more perspective about this artist and, you know, how they choose, how eclectic they are, and you know how they can be when they're in concert and stuff. I just took it like, no, you know, they're super spiritual, and they really felt this urge to pour into this person in this way. And I did notice that the other artist was totally uncomfortable, and I was like, yeah, it was kind of weird, and I kind of felt for them, and I was feeling like she was about to make her cry, and you know, maybe she could have pulled back. But at the end of the day, I still took it as a gesture of love. She took it as a gesture of conceit and haughtiness, for lack of a better word. And so I was like, you know what this tells me? And I told her this too. I said, you know what this tells me? Because I was cracking up that we had such a different point of view about the video. And she sent me another video about another artist that she was watching, because, you know, everybody got time on their hands, right? And she was watching this other artist perform, and she was like, it seems like they're just so in love with themselves. And then I went and watched the video, and I was like, no, I didn't think that at all. I feel like that's just how they emote and deliver the song. And, you know, she didn't feel like the other artist that was notable on stage with them got an opportunity to shine because they seemed so in love with themselves. And I'm thinking, no, I actually thought that that's just the way that they emote, and they totally step to the side and let them kind of riff and run and do whatever they do, because they didn't have a verse in the song. It was just like they were doing ad-libs. All that to say, I was like, look at how we saw the same video, and both of us walked away with completely different experiences of it. And one person had a negative experience with it, totally projected onto the person that they thought they were that they were arrogant, that who did they think they were, that they were coming from this puffed up space of ego. And I'm that's not to say that I don't do that too. I think we all do it in some way, shape, or form, depending on the day or the time or whatever. But in this particular instance, I happen to be looking at it from the eyes of, oh, that was a beautiful gesture of love. Oh, it looked like that's just the way that they emote, and they totally gave up the stage when it was time to give it up because they didn't have any verses for them. They were just going to do some ad-libs on the back of the song. I said, Rona, if you don't take nothing else from this conversation, I really hope that you do you. Because I don't know how many people could look at my videos and decide that I'm coming from some space of haughtiness or arrogance or I know it all or whatever. Whatever they may think, depending on what their perspective is of me, depending on how they see the world, depending on how, if I remind them of somebody else that they didn't like at a certain time, depending on how I'm dressed, if my makeup is done a certain way, if I'm showing up and I'm feeling extra confident that day and I deliver from that confidence, well, who do you think you are? Or if I'm showing up another day and I'm speaking from a very intense aspect of myself because that's just how I feel and this is how I'm emoting today. And I was like, there's this concept of, which I really like because it really gave me a good visual of it, not pretzeling yourself into what you think other people need you to be in order for you to show up and be as dynamic as you're capable of being. If you take nothing else from this conversation, please do you. Like, hey, Amanda, like, please do you, because we had completely different perspectives. And how can you know how somebody's going to take you in, and how can you always kick glove, people, and how can you know if what you're saying on this day is going to be appropriate for everybody that decides to listen to what you have to say, or how you deliver your gift or your talent or your skill? You couldn't. And so it's so important to trust yourself. To check, for me, this is what I recommend, check in with your intentions. Like, what do I want to get from this moment? What do I want to give to this moment? And so long as I am honest with that, and I come from a space of authenticity in that, I want to trust what comes out of me, whether you like it or not. Because at the end of the day, even if I try to craft it a certain way, there's a possibility you're still not going to get it the way that I intended it. So I just got to really check in with my own personal intentions, make sure that I'm showing up as my authentic self within those intentions, and then deliver. Because I could end up pretzeling myself. You could end up pretzeling yourself into what you think you need to be in that moment. And you could be dimming your light or taking away from how dynamic you are capable of being because somebody else is in some space where they don't understand what it is you're trying to deliver. Or let's say one layer more, you may deliver a message very direct and blunt to somebody because that's authentically where you are. You've checked in with your intentions, and this is what I need you to know about this, and you might not like it, and I got to get okay with that too. Because maybe it needed to land exactly how it landed. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, that's bananas right now. We just watched the same video and got completely different, opposite ends of the spectrum as far as how we receive these people. And the main message I took from it is, mama, do you? Do you? And as a matter of fact, keep working on letting out more of how dynamic you're capable of being because you're not quieting so many aspects of who you are or what you think people need to see of you in order for you to be okay. Now let me see what y'all are saying. I hope that came out right because I was like, yo, that's special. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the conversation. Bama. Hey, auntie. What up? Shout out to everybody quarantine style. Gigi says some people can't get outside of their own thoughts to gain understanding of how others are thinking. Yeah. I mean, that's what at the end of the day, people are going to judge you from their perspective. They're going to judge you from their own life experience. They're going to judge you possibly on several things that you could never know. And so can you imagine trying to craft something for everybody at all times? You can make yourself crazy, or you're going to make yourself such a people pleaser that you're not going to show up as powerful as you're capable of being. And then your message either gets diluted or lost. And then what? Like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Nikki says your background interjects on how you view a situation. Yes, judgment and varying views are so strange. Amanda loves the videos. Hey, Amanda. Deacon Charles, hey, says it's all about perspective. I face that a lot in ministry. I'm telling you, man. And it can dilute your message, or your message can get lost. So busy trying to craft it for other people. You can't know how they're going to receive it. So I say, check in with you. Check in with your intentions. What do I intend to give to this situation? What do I intend to get from it, And then operate from your authenticity in those intentions, and then trust what comes from you. Nancy says they need to just listen and not judge. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to do it. People are going to judge. We judge. Let's keep it 100. All of us judge in our own way, whether we deem it good, bad, indifferent. So I'm just saying from our own personal perspective, so that you don't dim your light, or so that you don't live in fear of expressing who you are, so that you come more out of your shell, so that you're able to trust yourself more, so that you're able to go into your intuition and deliver from that space more. We can't be you can do whatever you want, but if you're so concerned about how other people are going to take you in, it could really dampen what you have to deliver, or your whole message, and you could get lost in that. Is it worth it? I'd say no, because then we're going to miss your message. We're going to miss why you're here. We're going to miss your unique expression. And that's more important. We're going to miss your authentic power. We're going to miss the message that you probably wanted to give, you probably needed to give, but you didn't give. Devon says, yep, just do you, can't please or help everyone. I'm telling you, man. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Gigi. Right, Shirley? You cannot please everybody, but it's easier said than done. So I wanted to come in and give a way that people can start to practice if you have difficulty, because everybody's not, it's not easy to sometimes express all of who you are, or express more of who you are because of judgment, because you don't know how people are going to receive you. Depending on how you were raised, or depending on how you've been a people pleaser, depending on the roles that we play in life, it can be difficult sometimes to not lose yourself, and if you feel like you've lost yourself, one of the ways to get back to yourself could be hey, what are my intentions? Live an intention-filled life. What do I intend to get from this situation? And what do I intend to give to this situation? And then can I express authentically from myself within those intentions? And then trust what comes out, even if it's uncomfortable, because it's going to require you to be uncomfortable sometimes in order to stretch into that greater possibility of who you are, in order to stretch into more of how you can deliver your message, in order to stretch into more of how dynamic you are, but that you're quieting or you're suffocating. You know what I'm saying? Brian says, I used to care about what other people thought about me, but now if people don't like me, that's their problem. Good for you. Jorday says, I love being me. Do you? It's what makes you unique. Yes. Perspectives will get you every time. Wow, you're so right. It's usually not the delivery, it's the receiving. Ooh. That reminds me, if you guys don't have it, get the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Very, very powerful, life-changing book if you haven't gotten it before. Gigi says, it's funny, this was weighing on me on my way home today, wondering maybe I'm too vocal and need to hush. Devon says, I have messed up a lot, wanting someone's opinions or asking for advice or always searching for what I already know and have. Thank you, Joseph. Shirley says, that's why text messages are so tricky. Yes, a lot can get lost in translations on these technical devices. Be careful with that. Amanda says, that makes total sense, and I think it needs to be said right now because there's a lot of policing going on because people are bored. You better say that with your entire chest, honey. Isaac says, all heal the walking trophy. I'm not sure I understand that. Hey, Nehemiah. Your biggest failure in life is trying to help everyone. Markel. Trey says, yes, don't lose yourself in the process. So beautiful. Thank you guys for chiming in and sharing your wisdom, on the subject matter. But I just wanted to drop in and share that little nugget because I think it happens to everybody. It's the human experience. So, I'm not here to act like we don't judge. We judge. I judge. But can you imagine if you continue to allow other people's opinions of how you show up to dictate how you deliver from yourself? It can be debilitating. It can stop you from saying anything at all. It can stop you from showing up. It can stop you from, maybe saying what needs to be said authentically in this moment because you're afraid or you're not allowing the how dynamic you are to deliver it, So check in with your intentions. What do I want to give to this moment? I intend to be understanding. I intend to be honest. I intend to be self-nurturing or self-honoring. Sometimes you may be so self-sacrificing that you're just letting people walk all over you, or you're not allowing yourself to express because of that. So maybe you say, I intend to honor myself. I intend to listen, and I intend to communicate. Now what? Speak from your authenticity in that space. If you want to get even more intention filled, maybe think about the things that you would like to get from the situation. I intend to get their perspective without my judgment. I intend to listen intensely without having to say something in return. And I intend to love in spite of, even though, I'm not happy about the situation. Or I intend to be honest, even if I know that it might hurt their feelings. But if it's something that needs to be said, or if it's something that's going to honor myself, then it's something that needs to be said. You feel me? So check in with your intentions and then deliver authentically from that space. And then we got to do the tough part, sometimes the uncomfortable part of trusting what that is, trusting what that was, So hopefully that helps you guys. That's just my take. Jorday says, I used to think of what people thought of me, especially when I get in front of an audience to speak or just give my perspective. I've changed since then because when you are a people pleaser, you're living for others and not for yourself. Yes, ma'am. Michael Satin says, hey, Michael, some people like Hyundai, some like Ford, Chevy, and some like to own BMWs like you and me. There is... something. For every seat, some people don't like jazz and others hip hop and only rock and roll. I love in Vogue. Hey, everyone has their own taste. You and I love everyone. So people with that negativity point of view is not us. I heard that. Willie says, I want you to come speak to our employees on authenticity. Bless up, Willie. Hit me up. It would be my pleasure. So I just wanted to drop in. That's what's up, Willie. Hey, Mike. I just want to drop in with this message. It's for who it's for. Hello? All right, y'all. Lady says, that's so true. Half the time I stop myself because I know most people roll their eyes when it's something of importance. But because they feel like they know me and I joke and I've been through a lot, they won't take it seriously. Unless I'm next to one of my celeb friends, then they pay attention. Well. And Shirley says, that's why I needed PPU to learn not to be afraid to speak. And now blah, blah, blah. Shout out to the PPU family in the chat. That's what's up, man. Thanks for this jewel of knowledge. Oh, bless up, Jordan. I'm glad you found value in it. It definitely was something that was on my heart to say. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to drop in. I don't know what I'm going to call this conversation, but I'll think of something. So sending love to everybody. Going deeper with Ro, quarantine style. Thank you for checking in with us, Rona. You got it, Amanda. I'm probably going to check in a little bit more often now. So, yeah, head up, everybody. Hearts open. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.